Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P, Pep. Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal, presents The Adventures of Superman. Today, the Man of Steel has walked safely out of a clever trap set by Herbert Calkins, only to find himself hopelessly caught in another. As you remember, Clark Kent is engaged in a desperate duel of wits with Herbert Calkins, famous Scotland Yard detective, who is convinced that Kent is Superman and is determined to prove it. So far, Kent has managed to escape by the skin of his teeth from 3 traps set by Calkins. But now he faces still another one. Returning to his apartment building in the early evening, Kent found his square-set, square-faced nemesis Herbert Calkins holding his derby hat and rolled umbrella, waiting for him in the lobby. In response to Kent's question, Calkins said he was aware that Superman had promised to address a huge rally of the World Peace Federation at the Metropolis Stadium that night. And, he added,
I intend to spend the evening with you, Mr. Kent.
"Oh, you do?"
Yes, quite. I'm going to be most interested in seeing how you can be at my side as Clark Kent and on the stage of the Metropolis Stadium as Superman at the same time.
As we continue now, Kent, followed by the Scotland Yard sleuth, has gone up to his apartment. There, he says sternly,
Now, look here, Mr. Calkins. You're becoming a nuisance, or have I told you that before?
Oh, you have, but in my 30 years at Scotland Yard, during which time I've never failed to bring in my
your man. You ought to put that on a phonograph record. Look, have you ever been picked up by the seat of your pants and deposited elsewhere?
I have, but on infrequent occasions.
Oh.
Look here, old man. You'd really be much wiser to cooperate with me, you know.
Cooperate? What do you mean?
Simply stop beating around the bush and admit the truth, that you're Superman.
You're out of your mind if you expect me to admit I'm Superman. Why, of all the crazy, ridiculous ideas, that takes the cake.
Then you deny it.
Oh, it's too silly even to be discussed.
But you don't deny it.
I tell you, it's too silly to be discussed.
I see. Well, it's 7 minutes to 8. Superman promised to address the World Peace Federation at 8:30. Don't you think we'd better get started?
I don't think I'll go to the stadium tonight.
But you promised. And Superman has never broken his word.
I promised to cover the rally for my paper, but I'm rather tired thanks to your shenanigans, so...
Superman tired?
Miss Lane agreed to cover the story for me. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll say good night.
Very well. Good night, old chap.
I'll see you to the door.
Oh, don't bother. I'm staying here.
What?
Yes, I intend to stay until 10 o'clock when the rally will be over. But don't mind me. I have my pipe. And I see you've got an excellent library. You just toddle off to bed.
Now, look here.
Save your breath, old boy. And by the way, don't plan to lock your bedroom door or make your getaway through the window. I expect to look in on you every now and then, you know. And really, no crook can pick a lock better than I can.
The good old British bulldog, eh?
Call me what you like. In 30 years at Scotland Yard, I've never been wrong.
All right, my friend. Since the only way I can lose your charming company is to convince you I'm not Superman, I accept your challenge.
You what?
You and I will attend the rally at the stadium tonight. When you see Superman on the stage while I'm at your side in the audience, you'll admit you're wrong, won't you?
Why, not even you can be in 2 places at the same time. But you're bluffing, I'm sure. You don't dare go to the stadium with me.
Oh, no? Well, just give me 10 minutes to take a shower and change my clothes, and I'll be with you.
Oh, no, you don't. You can't give me the slip so easily, by Jove.
You're such a suspicious chap. What good would it do me to give you the slip for 10 minutes? The rally doesn't begin for 40 minutes.
That's right enough. And this apartment's on the 6th floor, and there's no fire escape outside, so you can't give me the slip unless you are Superman.
Right. Now that you've got that all figured out, will you excuse me for 10 minutes while I take a shower?
Just 5 minutes of 8. I'll give you until 5 minutes past.
Well, thank you so much.
But no tricks, mind you. If you're not out of here in exactly 10 minutes, I'm coming in.
Fair enough, Sherlock. Now, out of these clothes. I'll have to work fast if I'm going to pull the wool over Calkins' eyes. If ever there was a job for Superman, this is it. There we are, all set. First, I'll run the water in the shower. He'll be listening for it. There we are. Now to lock the bedroom door very quietly. And brace this chair under the knob. Like that. That'll keep my bulldog fan out a few extra minutes in case I'm delayed. Now, if only Batman is at home. I'll put this window a little more. Quietly. Out. Up and away!
Leaping into the night sky, Superman rockets across the park to the handsome house where Bruce Wayne, who is really the famous Batman, lives with Robin, his young companion. Fortunately, Wayne, the only person to whom Superman has confided his double identity, is at home. And swiftly, the Man of Steel tells his story.
So I'm sunk, Batman, unless you help me.
Me? How can I help you?
Well, we're about the same size, and we both got deep voices.
Yes?
Besides, public address system microphones distort voices a little. I doubt that anyone will suspect your voice isn't mine.
Oh, I get it, Superman. You want me to double for you tonight while you're in the audience with Corkin.
Right. Here, I've brought you one of my costumes, as well as a lifelike rubber mask that a French artist made of my face. Will you do it?
Well, yes, of course.
Good boy. I knew I could depend on you. You better climb into this costume at once and get to the stadium. Superman is due there at 8:30. Now, do your stuff, Batman. I'm counting on you.
I'll do my best.
Thanks. Mind if I leave by your window?
Oh, help yourself. And good luck.
Same to you. Out and away! Back home in 10 minutes flat. There.
I say there, old chap. Time's up.
Okay. A second too soon. Now back into Clark Kent's
I
clothes.
say, Superman. Kent, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Got this tie. Would stick at this moment.
Let me in.
1 second, will you? There, that does it. Now my glasses. So. Okay, Mr. Corkins, I'll be right with you.
Oh, so you are here.
And who do you think was talking to you?
Took you a long time to open the door.
Well, showers are so relaxing. I often forget the time.
Do you also forget to turn the blooming shower off when you leave it?
Oh, I did forget, didn't I? Glad you reminded me.
Just a minute, old chap. I'll turn it off.
Oh, thanks, but I couldn't think of bothering you.
Wait, I said, here, let me pass.
No use both are getting wet.
I don't care about getting wet. I want to see...
This damp bath towel? You wanted to see if I'd really taken a shower, eh?
Sopping wet. You must have knocked it under the shower just now.
Why, Sherlock, you get more suspicious by the moment.
You're a clever bloke, Ken. But I'm still certain that you're Superman. And I'm going to prove it at the stadium right now.
Oh?
Are you ready to go? Or have you changed your mind?
I'm ready.
Then come along.
His square face more like a bulldog's than ever, Herbert Calkins takes Clark Kent's arm and walks with him from the apartment. Will Kent and Batman's ruse fool the gimlet-eyed detective? We'll know more in a moment when we return for the exciting climax of today's episode. So stand by. Clark Kent and Detective Herbert Calkins have just arrived in Metropolis Stadium, where thousands of people are gathered for a rally of the World Peace Federation. As Kent and Calkins find seats in the crowded grandstand, Batman, wearing the blue costume and red cape of Superman and the lifelike rubber mask of his face, speaks into a microphone on the illuminated stage below.
The way to preserve peace is to establish mutual trust and understanding among all the nations of the world, and to let nothing disrupt that peace and understanding.
Well, Mr. Calkins, what do you say now? Do you admit you were mistaken?
The chap down there on the stage looks like Superman right enough. But I'm not saying yes, and I'm not saying no yet.
For heaven's sake, what does it take to convince you?
I repeat, let nothing change your mind. Lend all your support to the World Peace Federation. It is truly the only way to secure the blessings of peace for yourselves and your children.
Well, Mr. Calkins, satisfied now?
No, not by a long sight, I'm not.
Why? What do you mean?
I mean there's something rotten in Denmark, Mr. Kent. I've a notion I know what it is.
I don't understand.
You'll understand right enough. Fake! Fake! That bloke isn't Superman.
Wait, Mr. Calkins, stop.
He's no more Superman than I am. Look, if he says he is, tell him to fly and prove it.
Look, if you don't sit down, Calkins...
Make him prove he's Superman. Ask him to prove it by flying around the stadium.
Now what'll I do?
His world seeming to tumble down about his ears, Clark Kent sits helplessly by as Herbert Corkins whips the vast crowd to suspicion with his shouting at Batman to prove he is Superman by flying. But Batman, of course, cannot fly. Superman's carefully guarded secret of his double identity hangs by the thinnest of threads, in greater danger of exposure than ever before. What will the Man of Steel do? What can he do? You'll find out on Monday in one of the most thrilling, surprising episodes you've ever heard. So don't miss it. Tune in, same time, same station.
And remember, for breakfast, it's Kellogg's Pep.
For excitement, the adventures of Superman. As you remember, a famous Scotland Yard detective named Herbert Corkins has come to the United States to prove that Clark Kent and Superman are one and the same person. After barely escaping from several of the detective's traps, Kent decided that he must take the bull by the horns and convince Corkins that he was not the Man of Steel. Kent then arranged a trick with his friend Batman, and that night he went with Corkins to a huge peace rally in the Metropolis Stadium, where Superman was scheduled to make a personal appearance. As they seated themselves in the crowded grandstand, Batman, wearing a lifelike rubber mask of Superman and the familiar blue costume and red cape, was speaking from the stage below. But Corkins smelled a rat and created a commotion by shouting that the supposed Superman was a fraud. As we continue now, Kent stands in helpless dismay as the great crowd, stirred up by Corkins, roars at Batman to prove he is Superman by taking to the air and flying.
Well, Mr. Kent, what have you got to say now?
What do you mean, Mr. Corkins?
You and that bloke on the stage who's dressed up as Superman put up a trick on me, that's what.
What?
He's no more Superman than I am.
You're out of your mind.
Oh, don't give me that guff, my lad. If he's Superman, why doesn't he prove it and fly?
I don't know. Maybe he
can't fly. That's why.
I tell you,
he can't because he's not Superman, and you know it. Because you're Superman.
Now, look here. I'm not going to...
I knew it all the time, and now this just proves.
Wait a minute. Will you? Let's hear this.
No, I've had enough. I've got what...
Wait a minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please.
Now, look here, Kent. I don't care what that... Please.
Mr. Corkins.
Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to call your attention to the fact that our good friend Superman was kind enough to give up some of his valuable time for an appearance here tonight. Not to present a performance of his prowess, with which we are all familiar, but to speak to us on behalf of world peace.
That's not what...
However, since there are some skeptics among you who insist that he prove his identity, we may be able to persuade him to demonstrate his ability to fly through the air.
Great Scott, what a spot I'm in now.
In the meantime, you will be entertained by the music of Hugo Golden and his orchestra.
Well, Kent?
Calls for desperate measures.
I say, Kent, what do you propose to do?
You just wait and see what happens now.
I'm afraid this is where you... Kent, sit down.
Huh?
Sit down before you... Kent, look out!
Teetering for a moment on the edge of his seat, Clark Kent appeared to lose his balance, falling to the row of seats below. Then, gathering momentum, he continued to roll downward from tier to tier in the tightly packed stadium until, reaching the bottom row, he sweeps a large group of men into a harmless but tangled mass of arms and legs. Dexterously, he wriggles swiftly free, and in the ensuing pandemonium slips under the stage to a small dressing room, where Batman, still wearing the costume and mask of Superman, is nervously trying to figure his way out of the predicament.
Okay, I'll take over now, Batman.
Oh, Kent, thank heaven you're come.
You can say that again. I almost didn't.
Yes, but what are you going to do?
Go out there, give them an exhibition.
As Superman.
Yes, but what about Corkins?
Don't worry about him. I've arranged it so he thinks he knows exactly where I am. I hope.
Holy smokes.
You duck backstage and hide there until I've finished and disappeared. A minute later, come out and take your bow and go on with your speech. You get that?
Right.
Okay. So long, and keep your fingers crossed.
Leaving Batman in the dressing room, Superman strides swiftly to the stage. Then, without waiting for an announcement, he takes off.
Up, up, and away!
Rocketing up into the night sky, Superman flashes in a great circle over the tremendous, awed stadium crowd. For a moment, he slows his meteoric speed, circles lazily while he makes sure the tangled mass of arms and legs he created in his spectacular fall is still the center of a shocked group who are trying vainly to untangle it. Then he begins a dazzling exhibition of darts, swirls, and gigantic somersaults. Finally, as a great roar of approval fairly rocks the stadium, he puts on a burst of speed faster than the human eye can follow and practically disappears from sight. A split second later, Superman ducks under the stage from behind. Then, quickly changing once more to his guise and garb of Clark Kent, he rumples his hair and disarranges his clothes. And as the disguised Batman walks on stage to be greeted by a tremendous ovation, Kent slips unnoticed into the tangle of men who are just beginning to become untangled.
Hey, let me out of here. I like that.
Oh, my head. Get off my head,
Hey,
please.
you there?
Yes, help. Help me up. Hey, give the guy a hand.
Help him up.
Don't worry about him. He's all right, I'm sure.
Oh, what happened?
Come, old man. You know full well what happened.
my head, my arms, my legs. I ache all over.
Still putting on an act, eh, what?
I don't know what you...
Very clever of you, by Jove. Very clever indeed.
Gentlemen,
What do you mean, Mr. Calkins?
your attention, please.
Maybe you are telling the truth.
What?
Now that Superman has successfully demonstrated that he is Superman, he will continue his address on the subject of world peace.
Come on, let's get out of here. I want to talk to you.
Okay. I'm talking a cab on the way back to town.
Well, here we are, Mr. Kent.
Yeah. Now, before you leave, Mr. Calkins, let me get this straight. You're finally and definitely, once and for all, convinced that I, Clark Kent, am not Superman?
Righto.
Well,
Yes, by Jove, I must admit it really appears that for the first time in 30 years as a detective, Herbert Calkins was wrong.
and I must admit you were hard to convince.
My apologies, Mr. Kent. And my hand. No hard feelings, I hope.
Certainly not. None at all, Mr. Calkins.
Thank you, sir. Now I must say good night and goodbye. I board the Clipper tonight for England.
Goodbye. Have a pleasant trip.
Thank you, thank you. Well, cheerio, old chap. Should you ever come to London, look me up.
You bet I will. Well, now to meet Batman and tell him the good news. The newspaper club driver. And when Calkins found me at the bottom of that heap and then saw you as Superman on the stage a minute after my flying exhibition, well, he decided to call it quits.
He's really convinced you're not Superman, huh?
So he says, Bruce.
Oh, that's wonderful, Clark. Biggest scare of your life is now ancient history.
I wonder.
Oh, what do you mean?
Somehow I'm not quite sure he is convinced, but I don't know why.
Oh, come, Clark. You let this fella give you the jitters.
Oh, he's clever, Bruce. Perhaps the cleverest opponent I ever tangled with. And he hangs on like a bulldog. Well, I won't be able to relax until he's back in England.
When's he going back, did he say?
He said he was going back tonight.
Tonight?
Mm-hmm. Said he was flying back on the Clipper.
Well, then. Yeah, wait. What time does the Clipper take off?
11 o'clock.
Good. Now, look, it's 10:30 now. We'll just have time to buy a big red apple and give it to Mr. Sherlock Holmes at the airport. You said you'd relax when you see him take off for England.
I sure will.
Well, then let's go. Here's where you watch all your troubles disappear into the sky. Passengers stepping into the Clipper now. See, they're getting ready to take off. Are you sure Calkins isn't in the plane, Clark?
I'm positive, Bruce. And that means...
Wait, here comes somebody running down the gangplank now. Is it? No, it's just a telegraph messenger. Uh-oh. There goes the plane.
Yes, and Calkins isn't on it. I was right, Bruce. Calkins knows we tricked him tonight, but he pretended to be fooled in order to throw me off my guard.
Oh, wait,
He's
Clark.
surer than ever now that I'm Superman, and he won't quit until he proves it. Matter of fact, I've got a feeling he's baiting a new trap for me right now. I'm worried, Bruce. Really worried.
You have good reason to be worried, Clark. For at this very moment, Herbert Calkins is still working hard on his attempt to reveal your double identity. We'll be back in a moment for the exciting climax of today's episode, gang. So stand by.
Say, gang, on your mark. We're all set and ready to flash you this week's Pep Dish of the Week. It's a blueberry bullseye. And it sure is bang-up breakfast news. Here's how you set your sights for this tasty target. Pour your regular serving of Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine cereal, into your bowl. Heap a mound of juicy, fresh blueberries smack in the middle. Add cool milk and sugar. And then just make like your dead-eyed Dick. Only take your bead on this blueberry bullseye. Is it a dish? Yes, Kellogg's Pep sure does things for those blueberries. That golden sunshine flavor pushes right into the lead when it comes to tickling your taste. Each delicate flake is so crisp and golden and toasty that, well, a dish of Kellogg's Pep is solid in the old groovaroo. And Pep is good for you, too. Sure, gives you whole wheat nourishment plus. You see, Pep is made from whole wheat, one of the cereal grains that have been picked out to send to fellows and girls all over the world. So if you're sharp, you make it a point to eat every last spoonful of Pep in your bowl, because you wouldn't want to waste cereal, particularly now. So when Mom brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's, make yourself a committee of one to help guard against waste. If you pour your own Pep, pour it carefully and eat up every bit you pour out. Cut the rest of your family in on the idea, too. Remember, eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
Worried by Herbert Calkins' failure to return to England, Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne, who was really the famous Batman, have returned to Kent's apartment building. As we join them now in the corridor outside Kent's door, Kent is about to insert his key into the lock when suddenly he stops and grows rigid.
Great Scott.
What's the matter, Clark?
Calkins. He's in there.
Where?
In my apartment. Bruce, I'm done for.
Oh, what do you mean?
There's something in my apartment that will reveal my true identity beyond any doubt. And Calkins is reaching for it right now.
Shocked, Bruce Wayne strains his eyes as if trying to see through the door as Clark Kent is doing. What final proof of Kent's double identity is Herbert Calkins about to discover? Only a breath of time remains before Superman can prevent the Scotland Yard detective from revealing his most carefully guarded secret. What will happen? Tomorrow's episode is tense and exciting, fellows and girls. Don't miss it, whatever you do. Be sure to tune in, same time, same station.
And remember, for breakfast, it's Kellogg's Pep.
For excitement, the adventures of Superman.